Hey there friends, it's me Peter, and welcome to my annual 25 Random Facts About Me video. Ever since I started being a regular YouTuber in 2015, every January I've done a video where I recite 25 random facts about me. So I figured, why not bring it back for one more year? But this year, I'm going to do a little bit of a twist. As I said last week, this year marks 10 years since I graduated from New Trier High School. And with a reunion coming up in November, I thought, why not take this opportunity to put a little twist on 25 random facts about me? So that's what I'm going to do today. I present to you 25 random facts about me, high school edition. All 25 of these facts involve something that happened to me when I was in high school. And unlike the previous 2 years, all 25 of these are true. I know in past years I would throw in 5 facts that weren't true at all, but I figured this year, let's be 100% honest with you guys, and just tell 25 facts that are absolutely true. But I've got a lot of ground to cover, so what do you say I get started? Number 1. In my 4 years at New Trier, I took 30 classes. I took a class in every single department except for the art department and the music department, but every other department I took at least one class in. Number 2. In those 30 classes, I had 31 teachers educating me. No, that's not a math error. I actually had more teachers than I had classes. The reason for this is because when I took driver's ed, there were 3 teachers teaching each individual portion of the class. And when I took senior year team block, for whatever reason, we had one teacher teach us for a few days, but then another took over for the rest of the class. Don't know why that happened, but it did, and it contributed to me having more teachers than I had classes. Number 3. In terms of academics, my favorite year at New Trier was my senior year. That's because I got to take some of the best classes I have ever taken in my entire academic career. They included pop culture, creative writing, web design 2, and of course, being an editor for the New Trier News. Number 4. My least favorite year academic-wise was my sophomore year, because that was the year it seemed like I took the most required classes that I really didn't want to take. They include biology, third-year Spanish, plain geometry. All 3 classes I did not do very well in. Number 5. If you asked me to pick a favorite class at New Trier, I seriously couldn't do it, because I just took so many classes that I loved so much. Number 6. But if you want my least favorite class at New Trier, easily it would be Pre-Calc College Algebra Trigonometry. Yes, that is the name of the class. I took it my senior year for no other reason than I thought it would look good to have 4 years of math heading into college. I didn't need to take it. I had already taken 3 years of math, which was one beyond the graduation requirement. I needed 2 to graduate. The material was hard, the teacher was kind of condescending, it just was not a good mix for me. Number 7. Out of all the dances that were held at New Trier, I only went to 2. One of them was the Freshman Homecoming Mixer, and the other was a senior dance called Dancing in the Streets, which was a fundraiser for the Habitat for Humanity house that all the seniors built. I never went to Turnabout, I never went to any homecoming dances, and I certainly never went to prom. Number 8. Though that's not to say I didn't try to go to prom, I tried asking somebody out, and let's just say it did not go well at all. It's a long, convoluted story you don't want me to get into. Number 9. Besides the school newspaper, the other extracurricular activity I was involved with was the Hellenic Club. This was a club for Greek students and just provided an opportunity for us to get together after school, have fun, eat food, just have a good time. We also made gyros for the International Day, which was held every year, which was, quite frankly, one of my favorite parts of New Trier. Number 10. My high school has 4 floors and a basement, and I have had at least one class on every single floor of the building. Number 11. I'm fairly certain I walked in on 2 guys smoking weed in the bathroom one time. It was during my sophomore year, I think. I walked into the bathroom on the 4th floor. There was this weird smell in the air, and there were 2 guys in the furthest stalls that were talking to each other in between the stalls, which guys don't do. That's not something guys do. So I went in there, used the bathroom, and then I hightailed it out of there because I didn't want to deal with any of that drama. Number 12. One time I was writing an article for the Nutra News about Sophomore Institute Day, and I decided to interview some sophomores about how they felt about this day. I go up to a kid who I assumed was a sophomore. He gestured for me to come with him, walked into a cooking class, and shouted at the top of his lungs, "Everyone, he has something to say!" The teacher walked right up to me with a bizarre look on her face. I apologized profusely and explained what happened, and she looks at me and said, "Oh yeah, he's kind of interesting," in reference to the student. I got out of there pretty quickly. Number 13. While I got to know several teachers at New Trier, I also got to know a number of support staff members. Among my best support staff friends, I guess you could call them, were a lady that worked in the student records office, the secretary for the assistant superintendent, the secretary for the assistant principal, and the assistant in the career center. Number 14. The career center also played a very important role in me landing a job shadow opportunity. It was the day after Mother's Day, and I got to go to the Chicago Tribune and follow a bunch of people around. I got to meet with the web team, I got to sit in a page one meeting, and my personal favorite part, I got to sit in on a Red Eye meeting, which was for the magazine that was geared towards people my age. That day was interesting because police in one of the western suburbs had arrested a guy for killing his daughter and his daughter's friend on Mother's Day. Number 15. Also thanks to the Career Center, I got to participate in Classroom to Career Day, which was this one day they held every year where they brought in professionals in different fields and had them speak to classes. I served as an usher, where I got to take the speakers to and from their classrooms. It was a really interesting experience, and I got to talk to a lot of really interesting professional people in their fields. Number 16. I discovered my love of hugs when I was in high school. It was my junior year, and it was all thanks to my friend Kristen. About 3 days into the school year, I was turning a corner, and I looked, and there's Kristen, who I had met the previous year and became really good friends with. As soon as she saw me, she ran up to me and gave me a big, big hug. I realized how much I loved hugs, and I've been a hug lover ever since. Number 17. During my high school career, I had crushes on 5 different girls, and 4 of those girls I actually gave small gifts to. One of them I gave a little basket that you could hold in your hand, another I gave some Twizzlers, another I gave a keychain with her name on it, and the other one I gave German chocolate to. Number 18. Easily the most bizarre crush I had in high school started towards the end of my junior year. I was talking to this girl that was in my math class. We were hanging out for a little bit, and then we started walking to class as we had about 5 minutes before it began. Out of nowhere, she turns to me and says, "Well, let's talk about you. Do you have a girlfriend?" I was kind of taken aback by that, but I told her no, and then I asked her, "Do you have a boyfriend?" At which point she said no, she didn't. So a couple days later, I got her number. I told her I would call her during the summer. I did, and she never returned any of my calls. Wah, wah. Number 19. For most of my junior year, I had a crush on this one girl that I'd known for a while, and I discovered that she and her friends would often eat their lunch in the hallway. So after I ate my own lunch in the cafeteria, I would always go and meet up with them and just hang out with them for the entire lunch period. I don't know that the girl I had a crush on ever figured out I had a crush on her, but I could tell you a couple of her friends figured it out pretty quickly. Number 20. When I was a junior, there was one day when I needed to use one of the computers in the Nutra newsroom. So Mr. Lucadamo gave me his key and told me I could go in there and use it for the class period. So I go up, I put the key in the lock, only to discover the door is unlocked. So I go and pull open the door. At that point, I look forward, and one of the editors was there with her boyfriend on top of her, making out right there on the couch. The 3 of us just stared at each other in awkward silence for a second before I was like, "I need to use the computer. Mr. Lucadamo said I could." And the girl's like, "Oh, okay." And then she and her boyfriend just sat on the couch just in dead silence waiting for me to finish so they could continue making out. It was one of the most bizarre moments of high school for me. Number 21. I consider my junior year to be the bizarro year of high school. That's because I got an A in my chemistry class and a flat C in my English class. The polar opposite of the grades I was expecting to get. Number 22. Speaking of that English class, that is the reason why I hate the movie The Notebook. Oh, don't ever bring up that movie around me. It's a long story as to why I don't like it, but let's just say it involved a teacher showing that movie instead of offering to help me with my academics. Number 23. My favorite story I ever wrote for the Nutria News was the one I wrote when the locker room renovation project was finally completed. I got to interview the director of physical plant services, I got to interview the district's architect, and I even got excused from class to attend the dedication ceremony. I put so much effort into that story, and I'm so happy it paid off. I loved writing that story. Number 24. My very first summer read book in high school was The Hobbit. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for saying this because I have friends that love that book, but I'm sorry. I hated that book. It was such a chore to get through. I read chapter 1 way at the beginning of summer, and I didn't read the rest of the book until August, just weeks before school began. And finally, number 25. Possibly my biggest regret in my entire high school career was not seeing the sunrise on graduation night with all my friends. It's a tradition at New Trier, after graduation, as the party is ending at about 5 in the morning, everybody goes to Gilson Park to watch the sunrise. But, stupid me, I told my boss I would work a 9 a.m. shift the day after graduation. Why I did this, I have no idea, and to this day, it remains my biggest regret of not only graduation night, but of high school as well. There you have it, my friends, 25 random facts about me from when I was in high school. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of my videos, simply click that subscribe button down below. And be sure to tune in next week when I bring back a feature that I haven't done in a couple years, but I feel like now would be a good time to do it. Until then, this is Peter saying see you later.